Lunch, and I hope you're enjoying my hometown, my new hometown of Miami, Florida. I'd like to recommend it to everyone. Highly encourage the move, or at least a house here. So we'll all keep working hard, right? But I am excited to be here with you today. I come from Vox Media, prior at Condé Nast and at Hearst, leading our partnerships team, and I am very excited to be here with Kayla, who is a new friend of mine. We've gotten to spend loads of time together today. We're best friends on Instagram and everywhere already. Not yet, right?
Hello.
Is it working?
Is this thing on? Hello.
Can you hear Kayla, guys? Okay.
Mic one.
Can we turn Kayla?
Got it? All right, we're good.
Okay, great.
Go time.
It's go time. So I am very excited to introduce you all to Kayla, who is the head of marketing for Moonpay, which is a crypto company. She's going to tell us all about it. We're going to talk today a little bit about Web3, crypto, how you sort of make your foray as both a marketer and as a human into the metaverse and into Web3, NFTs, crypto, all the good things. So let's kick it off. So first up, Kayla, when we first met, we talked through Kayla's story, and I was very inspired by something she said. One of the things she mentioned is that success is really driven by strategy and luck. Strategy and luck lead us to opportunity, and I think that's something that we can all agree with. So I'd love to go back to your beginning, Kayla, and talk a little bit about how you got to where you are, how you've become involved in Web3, as well as what your marketing journey looked like.
Sure. So if I were to look back on my journey, the dots kind of connect now, but if you were to ask me 2 years ago if I would be leading brand marketing for a crypto company, I would have said, yeah, no, absolutely not. I don't see that in my future. So let's take it back a little bit to just show my progression of breaking boundaries, pushing through them, and really like starting with yes. I think that's my mentality to opportunity, is start with that yes. In the decision tree, and then maybe there's a no later on, but at least you went through the whole process to kind of evaluate that decision. So kind of rolling it back to high school, we'll go back some years. I applied to 13 colleges, and University of Maryland was the one business school I did not get into. Instead of being like, oh wow, that's really scary, I jumped on that challenge, went to University of Maryland, and had it in me like, let's get involved early on, marketing associations, etc., to really get into the business school and not give my parents a heart attack to potentially transfer back home to Rhode Island. So from there, it was like 2 to 3 weeks within, I got an email from the business school, and anything from business school, I was like, I need to jump on. They were going to New York City, and they were basically bringing you on a business track, and you chose your track. I really wanted to do international business. It wasn't available. Decided to do marketing. From there, visited Grey Group, Omnicon, Digitas, and really fell in love with marketing. Fast forward to a little bit at the end of my college tenure, I was running events for the American Marketing Association, and I really wanted Under Armour to speak. They're kind of a feeder school from University of Maryland because Kevin Plank went there. And so I met the recruiter, and he was like, love your energy and persistence, apply to Under Armour for an internship. And from there, 2 internships later, and about 7 years, my first role was not actually marketing. And at first I was like kind of bummed, but now that I see my progression, it makes total sense. I started on events more for the employee experience, and employees are kind of a brand's harshest critic. So I felt like that was a really good challenge to market in a different way, use those skills in a different way. And essentially, events became, how do we drive a deeper experience for employees past just events? And how do we build a true, diverse, and inclusive environment? And started Under Armour's employee resource groups. Through there, I met a ton of brand marketers. They were just naturally leaders of the employee resource groups. And a women's brand marketing role came along, and I just jumped on it. So a few years later, really was looking for an industry change, and I would say this was definitely not a, like, wow, I didn't see myself here. I intentionally went to AB InBev. They are just best in class from a learning and development and career perspective, and I just really admired their team and marketers. So I went there, and I kind of told this story earlier. If you didn't hear it, I'll make it quick. Jumped on Clubhouse to learn something new the week between jobs. Wanted to know how NFTs would be important to brands, and really learned and immersed myself. I had been dabbling in crypto, like I hate to break this to everyone, but TikTok made me invest in Dogecoin. This is not financial advice, but I just experimented and took those risks, and I'm kind of one of those people, you have to dive in to learn, and that's exactly what I've been doing. So when I heard Gary Vee was partnering with AB InBev to launch NFTs for Budweiser, I raised my hand, said I'd love to be on that project team. Like I said, the best way to learn is just dive in. And so I fell in love with Web3. And after that, I was like, I need to work in Web3 full time. How do we do this? So I kind of was networking with a few friends. What are some top companies? Moonpay was always on people's list. And serendipitously, I reinvigorated my Twitter after 6 years. And within a week or two, saw a post, hiring a head of brand marketing for Moonpay. No resumes, just slide into my DMs with an elevator pitch. So, elevator pitch, and a few conversations later, here I am, head of brand marketing for Moonpay. And really, really rewarding experience, really building the brand from the ground up, helping onboard the next billion people to Web3. And if you're not familiar with Moonpay, it is a crypto payments infrastructure company, so makes it really, really easy to use your credit or debit card or other payments like Apple Pay to purchase crypto. Now you can purchase NFTs or digital collectibles directly with your card. You don't need crypto anymore for that middle transaction. And then what we're expanding to is to really be a Web3 infrastructure company helping brands, creators, IP, everyday consumers seamlessly onboard end to end. So one of our newest offerings is called Hypermint. It's like really teched out, but I'll try to make it easy for you. They make deploying smart contracts for NFTs super, super simple and help bring more brands, alas, more people into the Web3 ecosystem.
That's amazing. One of the things we talked about when you and I were chatting was that there were a couple of roadblocks that popped up throughout your experience, and there were 3 of them, I think specifically, that you wanted to share with everyone here that I thought were definitely resonant and would help to talk about how brands can better connect within Web3.
Sure. So I think that a kind of key theme throughout my career is everyone has wanted to reach a new and diverse audience, but there's often been familiarity or conformity bias of leadership making decisions that has impacted that. So that's been like a roadblock I feel like I've worked through and advocated. In a few different examples, Under Armour. We knew that our target consumer was all this about this competitive mindset called the focused performer. And since it's a mindset, I was like, it's not a specific body type, it's not a specific skin tone, race, or ethnicity. So we need to be reaching a wider audience. How do we do that? Specifically started with women and diverse body types. Implemented what we called Choose Your Size model on UA.com. And through that, learned that women want to see themselves, especially in sports bras, one of your most fundamental pieces to be in your fitness journey. They want to see themselves in the product, in the brand. And so I've really used data as a weapon to drive that decision of leveraging, different body types to be able to show the consumer UA is a brand for you. At Budweiser, one of the second collections we launched was called Budweiser Royalty. And that is really to highlight emerging music artists and help them onboard into Web3 by offering digital collectibles for their fans. And for me, it was really, really important that we also had diverse representation of all those artists. And I think that you'll still see a lot of those artists being promoted via social media, and I was really proud of kind of the selection we established for that. And then most proud recently of, in order to onboard the world to Web3, we need to capture half the population of being women. And so we started an artist in residence program for women, non-binary, but other underrepresented artists, and kicked off with an artist by the name of Amber Victoria. And really it's not a one-size-fits-all program. So we really work with the artists, understand how can we make your dreams a reality, and go from there.
That's amazing. I think that the work with Amber and shedding light on gender equality and nonconformity and allowing for everyone to have individuality and highlighting women in a space that gives them a voice and gives them a platform is really strong. So thank you for doing that. One of the things that has impressed me most about you is that you've worked to become a powerful female voice across some male-dominated, let's call them industries. So think about sports, we think about beer, we think about crypto, and I would love to hear a little bit more from you, as would the audience, how you made your mark as a female entrepreneur in male-dominated industries.
Yeah, I would say I just have always been unapologetically myself and have advocated where I need to, and where I think that becomes hard is sometimes you're not invited to those tables or Zoom rooms, and I very intentionally invited myself to the right conversations, the right tables, the right Zoom rooms to make sure I can be an advocate for more underrepresented audiences. After all, every brand wants to grow, so why not reach more diverse audiences along the way?
Yeah, and I think just to add to that, we all have different passion points, and brands that we work with have different passion points. And if there is a space that you non-traditionally see yourself becoming a part of, step up, ask for the seat at the table. It was very impressive to me that you were able to say, I just ask. And, my husband says this to me all the time, which is hilarious, but he's like, you get everything because you ask for it, right? Whereas he sometimes just doesn't ask. So all of us, I think, can be better about literally voicing what we want and showing that we have a right to be able to get that and be able to have a seat at the table. So that's amazing.
The worst someone can say is no.
Oh yeah, the worst they're gonna say is no. And usually they say no, and then you're like, but why? Let me try again 12 times. And then by the 12th time, they've been hit across the head so many times that they're like, okay, fine, I'll just take your seat. Okay. At what point do you think, so I work across the agency ecosystem a lot, and we hear some trepidation from brands and marketers around Web3, how to get into it. Is it going to really make an impact? There aren't, we heard Rachel talk about it earlier, there aren't KPIs, there isn't direct return. So what does that really mean for brands? And how do you think that Web3 will become a bigger part of the conversation?
Yeah, so I think that Web3, especially now, is getting a little bit of a bad reputation because of some bad actors. And I think if we look at a macro environment, there's definitely bad actors in every industry. So I do feel like it's my role, it's our company's role to really shed light on what is the positive that Web3 can bring. And what I really feel like is it's culture. Culture will drive the mass transformation of Web3 and the mass adoption of Web3 through passion points we all know and love, art, fashion, music, entertainment. And we're already seeing that come to life. But as we continue to have the tech catch up to the opportunity and ideas, that is really where we're gonna see that mass adoption. I think a great example is Reddit. They onboarded 3 million users to Web3, and most of those users didn't even know it because they called their NFTs collectible avatars, and the wallet setup process was seamless. And so that's the next stage of what we're seeing. We're seeing seamless onboarding, and we're also seeing, why as a brand do I want to get into Web3? Well, it's an enhanced loyalty program to really have a customized, seamless consumer journey that is interoperable, which I will tell you a story at the very end of this to show that interoperability. But that's the future I'm excited about, is this really more enhanced community connection, consumer connection across touch points.
That's amazing. And we talked, another thing I love talking to you about was this idea of how Moonpay is partnering with brands and publishers. And, here at Vox Media, we have brands like Polygon, we have brands like The Verge that are doing amazing things from an editorial perspective as it relates to tech. But one of the things that you mentioned is that you're working on Moonpay's USP as it relates to content development and distribution. And that led to a conversation that we had regarding your partnership with Allo. And I would love for you to tell everyone about how you partnered with Allo and what that did as it relates to progressing the consumer journey.
Yeah, so Allo and Angelique have just been true trailblazers, bringing a brand into the metaverse, crypto, NFTs, and what we did and supported via our Hypermint smart contract system, which is too much tech jargon I shouldn't even be saying. But we helped bring, essentially, Allo had a new collection launch called the Aspen Collection, a very, limited drop, exclusive product. And so anyone who purchased from this collection then received a digital proof of authenticity. And that's great because that is like the next stage of authenticating apparel, handbags, jewelry, etc. But really what the unlock here is that digital token of exclusivity that person now holds in their digital wallet unlocks money can't buy experiences. So entrance into the Aloe wellness houses, any sort of experiential moments that they have, it will kind of grant them access. Sneak previews of upcoming collections, pre-sales to upcoming collections. The list goes on and on. So now that token that these consumers hold, you can keep adding these experiences and benefits because you now have that unique identifier to communicate with that consumer.
That's amazing. I love Aloe and love Moonpay, so I thought that was a very, very smart collaboration. I'm going to skip a couple of questions just in the interest of time, knowing that you talked a little bit about Web3 and the sort of negative actors and the negative connotation and the fear that brands and publishers alike have as it relates to Web3. Moonpay is very focused on being a positive force in Web3, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about what matters and how you're enhancing the connection that you have with consumers in the Web3 space in a more positive way.
Yeah, I think creators are consumers. I think what we are doing with artists, whether that's music artists or artists like Amber Victoria, we're helping to bring more of these artists and brands into Web3 so that it becomes more mainstream and you can truly own your digital identity and value community. And I think that what was really interesting about, sorry, I'm like
no, you're good. You're good. Make yourself comfortable. I wish I had a couch.
We're so comfortable. So I think what is really important is that we are just helping brands authentically move into this space and not do it just for, the money or the cash grab, but because we can enhance this overall journey at the end of the day.
Right. Okay, are you guys ready for the story? Because we gave you a prelude and let you know that there was a very exciting story coming. So to preface this and not to hype it up too much, we wanted to talk a little bit about what blockchain technology is going to bring to the world in future years. So I loved it because Kayla came to me and she's like, I've been thinking a lot about this, and by 2030, there's some things that are going to be happening as it relates to blockchain, Web3, how all of our lives are going to be better enhanced by it. And I'm like, tell me more. I need to know how my life is going to be better by 2030. So, Kayla, will you give us a wrap of what you think blockchain and Web3 are going to bring to all of us by 2030?
Yes. So this one requires my phone because I have a story.
Totally
It's a fireside chat, so it wouldn't be one without a story. And what I want to preface with this story is that it is a look into the future. Obviously, there's some things that need to be figured out, like data and privacy and your digital wallet and how it's tracking you across an open loop system, which, by the way, is pretty much like cookies, but just in a more enhanced environment. So this story is a story actually about me in 2030, and when I wake up in the morning, and you can kind of envision what my day-to-day might look like with blockchain working invisibly in the background. So story time. It's 2030. I wake up in the morning, I put on my Warby Parker glasses. I'm part of a new membership program where I can help them build their next frame style and receive trial pairs monthly. Truly feeling like I can help be an owner in this process. Web3 is promoting ownership. Great example. I own this membership token in my crypto wallet, which has a unique identifier and follows me along. And then say, Alexa, what's the news? Which I do every morning. Every time I repeat this action, it's recorded on the blockchain. And my consistent news listening then unlocks exclusive content via a publisher of my choice. So let's say
Vox Media. No, I'm just kidding.
So I would put Vox in, but this all interconnects. And my publisher of my choice is Bon Appetit magazine.
Okay, fair. I worked at Condé Nast, so fine.
Okay, great. So I then unlock this model that has exclusive recipes because I love trying new food. I leave my home to go grab a coffee. On my way, I listen to Taylor Swift's new album on Spotify. The cumulative hours I listen to T Swift is logged on the blockchain. I enter into Starbucks. I scan my wallet, my digital wallet, to pay, and ding, 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 because my Warby Parker membership NFT is in my wallet, I receive a free coffee for every 10th visit to Starbucks. So this is assuming Warby and Starbucks eventually have this partnership. So my wallet is tracking that frequency via the blockchains of this is your 10th visit, you get an unlock. I then start my work day. I decide to take a lunch break. I check out the latest fitness class. Let's call it Barry's Boot Camp. Upon check-in, my 50th class is recorded. That's awesome. Hope to establish that in the future. And so when I lost my place. Okay, so upon that 50th class, a token is airdropped into my wallet. And this grants me a free workout set from Under Armour that's valid in-store or online by scanning my crypto wallet. I then head back to work. I can't focus because Taylor Swift concert tickets go on sale today. I'm really, really excited because I'm top 10% of her Spotify streamers, and I'm awarded early token-gated access to purchase her concert tickets via NFT ticketing. Remember that Warby Parker membership token? Well, that grants me VIP lounge access at her concert, so I click, yes, I'm attending that option, and that is basically powered by blockchain with the ticket transaction. So this way, when I kind of go through that cycle, Warby Parker then knows I'm coming and can truly customize the experience because I'm already part of this membership program and they already know kind of my tastes and my likings. And so at the end of the day, with a dinner reservation I made on Resy with my wallet address, upon arrival, because I am then a Bon Appetit magazine content subscriber, I'm granted exclusive access to the chef's secret menu, including the Death by Chocolate cake with a cherry on top. And that is the cherry on top to my experience and benefit-powered day with the tech seamlessly working in the background.
Okay, I think that deserves like a little clap. Anyone? That's very good. I would love to hear my story. So instead of asking you to help me create it, I am going to think about what my Web3 powered 2030 looks like. I also would highly encourage you, post this on LinkedIn. Let everybody see what this is so that we can all go back and really think about how there's this amazing technology powered by Web3 and the blockchain that are helping us to live our lives in a better, more personalized, just more exciting way. And, you know, I think so many people have a fear of what Web3 is going to bring because we all were in the era where Web2 brought really great things, but at first it was scary and there were bad chat rooms and all of, you know, these things that fear sort of brought as any newness does. But here we are in a place where, as you can see in Kayla's story, 2030 sounds awesome, right? Sounds amazing. Let us all get those tickets. Let us all get that extra Starbucks. Let us all have a more efficient, personalized, optimized life. And I would highly encourage everyone in the audience to plan your 2030 vision via Web3. So with that, we're going to wrap. I know we have about 8 minutes left, but we would love to ask the audience if there are any questions for Kayla or for myself. And don't tell anyone at Condé Nast I said she could listen to Bon Appetit, okay? Keep that in the room here. No questions? Comments? Oh, good.
That was awesome, by the way. Thank you for sharing that, what 2030 looks like. Amazing. So are you guys, like, part of what you talked about, the future of Moonpay and kind of where you guys are, you know, seeing the platform and the brand go? Are you kind of setting up your team to enable those types of partnerships? You just had examples?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of our larger ecosystem.
Right.
So my team is specifically brand marketing across Moonpay brand, but we also help bring brands into the fold through their marketing strategy and their kind of back-end strategy as well.
So you're actively outreaching to, you have a team that's actively outreaching to brands.
We do.
Having these conversations, right? That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Hove is from Traction, by the way. We're a consulting agency model hybrid. So
amazing. Thank you for the question.
How do brands get in touch with you, Kayla, if they are interested in partnering?
Yes, great question. LinkedIn's always a good spot. Definitely follow me on LinkedIn. And then I'll just, I'll give out my email and then we can connect you to the right people at Moonpay to get started. So Santos@moonpay.com.
Awesome. And if you guys have anyone as Kayla was talking about the amazing partnerships that she's doing with artists in residence, I think that's something that, I'm sure she would appreciate any looks. If you guys know anyone that's amazing, that should be featured, female, non-binary, anyone that deserves a broader place to be able to be supported, please reach out to Kayla and she can help to get you connected there too.
Absolutely. That's a quarterly program, so we have new artists every quarter and always looking to our communities of recommendations to select the next artists.
Thank you for that question. Anything else, guys?
It's good. All right.
Okay. Then with that, we're going to end early and keep the convos going. So thanks for having us. We hope you have an awesome rest of the day in Art
Thanks,
Basel.
everyone.